Saving for big goals can be intimidating, but small steps over time can really add up. If you create a basic safety net, start early, take advantage of an offered match, and prepare for the long haul, it can be done. Read or watch more about these basic tips of saving for the future at stcumoney.org.
Better health, better care, lower cost. Everyone's talking about health care, but how much do you know? Better Health is brought to you in part by Sleep Better Northwest. Explore the healthcare system and listen to experts with your host, Sue Lonnie Madsen, here on Better Health.
Oh, welcome to Better Health, and my guest today is George Hampton, who is the Senior Director of Marketing Communication for the Inland Northwest region of MultiCare. Welcome, George.
Thank you.
Well, we invited you on because I want to know more about the new kids on the block. Who is the MultiCare Health System that now the name is starting to appear outside Deaconess and Valley and Rockwood?
Yeah, no, thank you. We are a new name, but with some familiar players, right? So Deaconess Hospital, Valley Hospital, and Rockwood Clinic are now part of MultiCare Health System. And MultiCare is a long-standing organization on the west side of Washington, and they saw an opportunity to expand and over to the Spokane region, and so they did. So they're really excited. I was with Rockwood Health System previously, so I'm part of those who were acquired, and I'm really excited to be part of MultiCare Health System.
Okay. One of the things I was interested in was the history. I know they're in Tacoma. I have some friends who work at MultiCare Tacoma. What was their how did they get started over there?
So Bishop John Paddock lived in Brooklyn, New York, back in the mid-late 1800s. He and his wife, Fanny, felt a sense of mission to come to the West. And as they were here, they realized that the need was in healthcare. So their vision was to start a hospital. As they started to transition over here, unfortunately, Fanny passed away due to some exposure to the elements but the mission went on, and the original hospital built in Tacoma was Fanny Memorial Hospital, built in honor of Bishop John Paddock's wife, and that ultimately became Tacoma General, which was the key hospital in MultiCare's expansion, and then they grew into MultiCare Health System with the expansion into Allenmore Hospital, and they have a hospital in Auburn and Covington, and then Marybridge Children's, and then also Good Samaritan Hospital as well. So those are the hospitals.
Good Samaritan
in the west side.
On the west side.
Yeah.
Because I know there's one in Moses Lake as well, so it's just...
Not in Moses Lake, no, over on the west side. So that is the hospital system over there, and then obviously Deaconess and Valley here now in the Spokane region.
Okay, so what prompted this expansion? I know.
So MultiCare has been expanding. They expanded into southern King County with some purchases of immediate clinics, and they have a partnership with Navos Health. Ultimately, they saw an opportunity to be a bigger player in the state. They want to be the Pacific Northwest's highest value system of health, and in order to be a regional system, they needed to continue to expand, and they saw an opportunity here, and so they took advantage of that.
Okay. What was let me see what you got on your next page there, because I think we had a good question.
Let's see
Let's see. Oh, the expansion. The mission, vision, and values. I think that's kind of part of where that history comes from, and it's nice to know that MultiCare comes from roots in that same kind of mission-inspired approach to healthcare as the existing systems, or as the original Deaconess and Valley had, and as Providence has.
Yeah, no, they are mission-driven, and they look at themselves. We look at ourselves as a community resource, and first of all, our mission is partnering for healing and a healthy future, and MultiCare sees themselves, because they are a nonprofit organization and a Washington-based organization, that they are responsible to the community they serve. That is who they feel they're most responsible to. The values brought forth by Bishop Paddock are infused throughout the organization, even as it's grown. The current CEO, Bill Robertson, 100% believes in these values, 100% teaches these values. We were just at a forum last weekend where several hundred leaders got together, and we went over all of the values and how do we live the values and how do you apply the values So I'll just explain a little bit about the values. First of all, to name them, it's respect, integrity, stewardship, excellence, collaboration, and kindness. For me, to see kindness as a value in a mission statement for a large organization was unique. But they truly believe it. They believe that there's a kindness that has to be had with patients. There's a kindness that has to be had amongst each other. Healthcare is it's a calling more so than a job. I mean, you're truly dealing with people at some of their most vulnerable moments, and to be there for them is truly a great mission. And what the vision is that MultiCare will be the Pacific Northwest's highest value system of health. And how that points out is it leading as a people-centric community asset. So people-centric, what does that mean? A, we take care of patients, and B, we got a lot of employees. And we are a community asset, and that's how they should be seen. Partnering in the community is an enormous point for MultiCare. And they've shown it to me personally as they've come in, as we've just
as one of those employees.
As one of those employees, I felt highly supported, and it's just been a wonderful transition so far.
Well, I know I asked if you had been in contact with the Empire Health Foundation yet. Of course, that's the successor to the Deaconess and Valley sale. And one of the things that foundation has always tried to carry on is the original mission and values of the Deaconesses who founded the Deaconess Hospital. And you had mentioned that there was a foundation that MultiCare was planning.
Yeah, so MultiCare in the Puget Sound area has had a foundation for several years, and they are extending that foundation over here to the Inland Northwest region. And there's an executive director called. She's going to be standing up a board, and
that's based in the Inland Northwest.
That's based in the Northwest. Yeah. So she's looking into several candidates there so that they can raise money and then donate that money to causes that meet our mission. And it's highly exciting to have that piece and to be that community resource as well.
Okay. Let's see.
So
you had such a good outline. I want to use your outline.
Let's see here. So I mean, we just more on our values. I'll just say in stewardship, we develop, use, and preserve our resources for the benefit of our customers and our community. So we believe as a health system, we have a responsibility to be good stewards of the resources that we have, so that we can serve the most patients as possible, and in the best way. And so I think that we don't say ownership, we say stewardship, right? Mm-hmm. So we realize that these resources are actually the communities, and we just simply have stewardship over them. And I think that's a key difference from what you've seen previously. I think that the cultures around Deaconess and Valley and Rockwood Clinic will continue to evolve into this servant leadership style of culture, and it's happening. And there was a great start. Don't get me wrong. I mean, there was a great culture at Deaconess and Valley and Rockwood, but this just continues to take us to that next level in a larger organization.
Mm-hmm. You come into this from Rockwood. I understand you were already with the Rockwood organization here.
Yeah, I was. Director of Marketing Communications for Rockwood Health System, so what was Deaconess Valley and Rockwood Clinic, and I stayed on with MultiCare as they came in.
Okay, how are the systems integrating?
So one of the key pieces that we're integrating is we have a new EMR that's being installed. It's Epic.
Okay, and EMR is electronic medical record.
Electronic
medical record. For those who aren't the healthcare geeks, yeah.
Yep, it's how patient information is kept and tracked and stored and shared. The Puget Sound region of MultiCare uses Epic today, and they're installing Epic over here in the Inland Northwest. Originally, first is the clinic, so Rockwood Clinic will be the first to go live in Epic, and then the hospitals will come online sometime next year. So that's integrating the record is an enormous piece to integrating care, because then you can care across the continuum of care, because you can see the patient from point A to point Z.
Yeah, and the Providence system is using Epic in this area as well.
They are indeed.
And so it'd be nice if they would cooperate.
Yeah, the plan is that with Epic, there is a way to have mobility of records so that there can be patient care across the community. Yeah.
Okay. And outreach to the surrounding community, because of course Spokane is that's the major tertiary medical center, but there are a lot of smaller hospitals
Certainly.
in Eastern Washington. And do you see anything opportunities there? Anything changing?
Well, Deaconess is a tertiary hospital, so it has served with transfer patients for a long time. But we do serve all of Eastern Washington, Northern Idaho, and into Western Montana for our patient base. It just depends on what they need in their care. There'll just be continued outreach. I think there are opportunities for us to expand what we do in those areas as MultiCare comes in here with other services and with other vision. Right now we're trying to just establish who we are together as an organization.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there'll be continued outreach, and there has been, because Deaconess has been a tertiary center for so long. But they do outreach on the Puget Sound region to other hospitals in that region as well. So that same operational style will exist here and will continue to exist here.
Most of the rural hospitals, not all, are public hospital districts, which is a little different animal. I know that's true of all of rural Washington, but I'm not sure. Have you had partnered with the public hospital districts in the past?
Well, as far as partnering, we have transfer policies where they can transfer patients from rural hospitals into Deaconess as a tertiary hospital. I'm not well versed on all of the policies myself, but there's relationships absolutely to bring patients in.
Yeah, 'cause I know the rurals are trying to work on ways that they can set up telemedicine relationships and a little more in depth.
So we do have the beginnings of a telemedicine relationship with neuroscience. We are testing that between Deaconess and Valley, and we are looking at other opportunities to test that because we know that there's a need for neuroscience into the larger rural community. It's at the early stages. But neuroscience is a focus within our health system here in the Northwest. We have a large neurology group and neurosurgery group and multiple sclerosis group, and so the neuroscience service line of care is an important area of focus for.
Well, that would be really a good web to get out there for both for immediate stroke care in rural areas and for the ongoing chronic care of MS, which is an issue.
Absolutely, yeah. We are a level 1 stroke center at Deaconess Hospital, and so we're very proud of that. Our stroke care is second to none in this area, and that's why the telemedicine was sort of spearheaded with neuroscience.
Yeah. Well, we'll take a short break and we'll come back and continue the conversation.
Okay.
I'm Mike Marzetta from Mind's Eye. One of my life's goals is to never grow up, never have to grow up. What could be worse? My wife, Christy, and I had kind of two fundamental values that kind of led to Mind's Eye's creation. We wanted to make the difference in lives of kids, and we wanted to have fun doing it. Mind's Eye Robotics is a high-quality, hands-on STEM education experience. We try to give the teacher a nice high-tech set of tools. We teach the teachers how to implement the curriculum in the lab, and 90% of it is them building, programming, formatting, designing, inventing. We want Mind's Eye to be cooler than Xbox. We want the kids to go there and come home from school every day and go, wow, I did the coolest thing today, and not necessarily know that they've learned all this stuff. Kids are very passionate about it. You can see that they're having fun, they're excited, they're energetic, they're in the zone. I hear a lot of it, how do I get my kids to do homework? Well, you make it fun, and they come in before class starts, and they stay late, and they're not thinking the extra credit. They're thinking, I'm having too much fun, and I can't put this dang project down. It's college level stuff that they're learning. Change and learning are synonymous. And if you don't change, you get left behind. You got new companies emerging using new technologies and have a high demand for high skilled labor. They're good paying jobs. It'd be great to just hire some local folk to fill those. I think that we've got that kind of potential here in Spokane. We're graduating some great kids. When STCU supports learning, they're supporting our future. So many other organizations out there are so bottom line profit focused. I think they lose focus on what's important. I see STCU helping the greater community outside of it to get better, to learn, to grow, and to progress. We're here to do good. We're here to help the greater good. We're very proud to be able to partner with STCU to that end. I think what is a better place to help the greater good than with helping kids? I'm Mike Marzetta, and STCU is here for good.
Hi, this is Kurt Stockwell with Well Dressed Walrus. We are a local website design and development company here in Spokane. What we do is build beautiful, usable websites for local businesses. A website needs to be beautiful, it needs to be usable for your users, your customers, and yourself. Contact us anytime. We'd love to talk with you about your online marketing.
And we're back. I always have such interesting conversations during the breaks. So let's talk a little bit about the leadership, but starting with the historical leadership. Bishop Paddock was from Episcopalian tradition, right?
He was the Episcopalian bishop.
Okay, I was trying to figure out which denomination that might be, but that makes sense for that time of for that era that it was came from there. But now he came out here and founded a healthcare system that turned into a system. And that kind of local leadership has been really important in the Spokane community. It makes a difference here for people to have roots. What's the leadership team like for MultiCare?
So the chief executive officer of all of MultiCare Health System is Bill Robertson, and he's a longtime healthcare executive and a wonderful man, wonderful boss. He's very personable. When they had the kickoffs here in July, he was here helping serve food at the barbecues, and so he's very personable.
So he's the overall guy for the
overall
state.
CEO,
okay.
yeah. And then he has his right-hand woman is Florence Chang, and she's the chief operating officer of MultiCare Health System. My boss and the chief executive of the Inland Northwest region is Dr. David O'Brien. And Dr. David O'Brien came to us from California. He was worked at Providence Health System over there, Providence St. Joseph, and he's a family practice physician for his first 15 years of his career. So he's an MD, and he's been on that side of the healthcare delivery as a physician. And then he's been an executive since the early 2000s in hospitals and other executive positions in healthcare systems. So he moved here in July with his wife, and they're here. And he's also obviously a wonderful man and a caring man. You can tell he's a physician, but then also understands that healthcare has to run as an organization and that you need a system to do that.
Does he practice occasionally to keep his hand in?
I don't believe so, but I don't know for certain. He's been pretty much a full-time executive, I think, for a long time. The other local leaders there's a president of Deaconess Hospital, and her name is Lauren Driscoll, nurse by training and had been a nurse executive. And then Greg Rapetti, he's the president of Valley Hospital, and he's been a fixture in this community for some time, and he's been the president of Valley Hospital for a few years. And then the interim president of Rockwood Clinic is Dr. Monica Blakowski-May, who's been with Rockwood Clinic several years and served on their board, and she's a wonderful leader for Rockwood Clinic and a caring doctor. And so that's the local leadership team. There's some others that work for the region. I think we talked about what are we doing to integrate. One of the things is we set up a regional structure. So there's a regional leader, Dr. David O'Brien, and then he has a regional team consisting of a CFO, Wendy Apland, myself, I'm on the regional team, George Hampton, and then Carolyn Kadike, she's the executive director of the foundation that's going to be here. She serves on the regional team. Brian Jones, our chief information officer, he's the one who's in charge of that epic installation.
Oh, yes, that will
be
epic.
It will be epic, and his hands are going to be full with that, and are full. It's an enormous task to take information from a legacy system and have it go live on a new system, and then you've got all of the learning curve. People are very excited about Epic. They're very excited about being on the system, but there is still obviously a learning curve because you used to know what you were doing on the previous one, even if it didn't work well. But now we're working on something new. But they're more excited about having it than they are scared about the learning curve. So,
Just a point of one little blast from the past anecdote. I was a candy striper at Deaconess. And when I was old enough to have one of the more responsible positions, I volunteered in medical records. And so I would go in for 2 hours and I would file index cards in a big Rolodex file.
Yeah.
It wasn't really secure because I could read anybody's card on the file. I limited myself to mine and my sister, my mother. So yeah, that was what medical records used to be like.
Yeah, personal health information is a whole different game these days. I know some doctors would be like, "Oh, paper records, what a great blessing they were." These, so many clicks on these systems, but ultimately, when you have systems that have relational databases, it allows you to really take care of the patient from A to Z across the continuum of care, and it's so critical, and we're really excited about having Epic.
Well, I have noticed that my own doctors at in the clinic that I use is they've gotten used to it. There was an adjustment just to dealing with this extra piece of equipment sitting on the counter, and now it's a little more comfortable, and they're getting a little better at it. It does have its advantages. It's an adjustment for everybody.
Absolutely.
So what kind of changes, or maybe even more importantly, some non-changes can we expect to see with MultiCare? What are you holding on to? What besides Epic, what else is looking to change?
I guess this is a philosophy from MultiCare, is that they're not trying to come in and multi-careize everything, right? They don't believe that they know it all. They believe they have some best practices that they can share with us, but they're also trying to learn from what Deaconess Valley and Rockwood Clinic do well, and either continue to do them here or even implement them over on the Puget Sound region as well. So
the regions share, there's a knowledge sharing.
Absolutely, there is a knowledge. Yes, it's very intentional. And I think this is where, it was an acquisition, but it feels more like a merger. You feel a commonality with them. I've been working with the marketing team, the corporate marketing team from the Puget Sound region since early November of last year, because that's right before it was announced, and then it transitioned in July. But we've been getting things ready and going since then, and they've been very congenial, and it was definitely a partnership style of relationship of, we want to work with you, we're working together. This isn't us coming in and telling you what to do. That's been wonderful. So in the community, I think that we will continue to do the things that we do well. I mean, Rockwood Clinic is a very diverse clinic. We have a large primary care group of doctors, but then lots of specialty care. And I think that you're going to see that specialty care continue to be a further resource in the community, from heart and vascular care to the neuroscience care like we talked about, and the neurosurgery and neurology, to orthopedic care. I think it's maybe a lesser known secret, but Valley Hospital does more orthopedic care than any other hospital in this area on a per capita basis, as far as the size of the hospital. And so they do everything from complex sports medicine type orthopedic procedures to standard knees and hips that happen. And so what we do well will continue to be neuroscience, orthopedics, deliver lots and lots of babies. the good time to be at the hospital.
Fun one,
yeah, it's when you're excited. My interaction before I worked in healthcare, I've got 5 children. And so my largest interactions with the hospital were when my wife was having our 5 children. So my last child was born at Valley Hospital, and we're glad that was the case. We had a wonderful experience there. But, we'll continue to be out in the community. I mean, there's 86 different clinics for Rockwood Clinic all throughout this area. And they serve in primary care. They serve for everything you can think of.
The urgent care clinics, I think, are the ones I'm most familiar with, because I
Mm-hmm.
have had to use one of those occasionally. So
yeah, no, those are very convenient, and we do have 6 urgent clinics, and they're 4 of them are open on weekends. And the urgent care is a model that's been very helpful to patients, because sometimes you don't need an emergency, but you can't get into your doctor because they have weekends too. But so it's nice to have an urgent care clinic. MultiCare as a healthcare system believes in urgent cares. They've expanded with urgent cares over on the Puget Sound area with the immediate clinics, and they also have a special type of urgent care called Indigo, which is a full concierge service type urgent care. You walk in, there's a person that meets you and greets you, and so it's highly personable, but also it's very quick. I mean, they've had turnaround times of 18 minutes where you walk in and you walk out in 18 minutes with your diagnosis and with your prescription, so that you can
For
get
those
on.
things that somebody knows what they really have, what the problem is, and it's...
Or even if they don't, the doctors are set up and nurses are set up to triage quickly, get to the doctor, and get you out. The name Indigo was meant to stand for individual on the go, so Indigo. But so they believe in urgent cares just like Rockwood Clinic does.
Is your system doing the smartphone, make an appointment app with your
You
urgent
can
care
check
before
in
you
online.
Check in
Yep,
online.
you can, and you could before with Rockwood Clinic as well. So,
Okay.
In fact, some of our billboards say check in online.
I was trying to remember which billboards it
Yeah,
was.
those are
I know
ours.
you're the marketing director in here.
So-
I can't remember which one it was, but I did see it.
We got the lady in the bed, and she's not feeling well,
Okay.
and so she can check in online. So yeah, it's important that we have convenient ways to access the healthcare we provide.
Okay, so a couple of wrap-up comments you'd like to make? I'm getting the 2-minute sign from Steve.
Just that we're here to serve the community, and that we partner in the community, partner with organizations in the community like the United Way, Ronald McDonald House, Valley Fest and Hoop Fest, and YWCA, Spokane Youth Sports. So on and on and on do we have relationships that we support. I'll just plug, we are having a race this Saturday. It's a 5K race. It's a fun race. It's not an elite competition. It's a fun run. And we're partnering with the University District because we're holding it there.
Okay.
And so University of Washington, Gonzaga, and WSU School of Medicine are partnering with us there. And then the U District itself and McKinstry. Those 4 entities have been really crucial in making this happen. We've got other sponsors, but 9 o'clock, University District. You can register at...
And that'll be October 14th. People may watch this later, and then it's too late if you missed it.
Yeah, October 14th.
October 14th.
So, 9 a.m. at the WSU campus U District, and you can register at bridge2brunch.org. That's the name of the race. The Bridge to Brunch 5K.
Okay.
Bridge2brunch.org.
Well, and that brings up a whole other subject we could talk about another day, which was how MultiCare is going to work with the multiple med schools that we have.
We want to work with both of them. We already have relationships with both, and we're excited to be faculty there and to partner in their scholarships
Okay.
and everything. So
Great. I'm glad you could come in, George.
it's my pleasure. Thanks
Thank
for having
you.
me.
Better Health with Sulani Madsen is produced in Spokane, Washington by SpokaneTalksOnline.com, which is solely responsible for its content. Better Health is brought to you in part by Sleep Better Northwest. Ask Sulani a question, recommend a guest or topic, and hear this program again online anytime at SpokaneTalksOnline.com. Cheers to better health, and thanks for listening.
Hi, this is Kurt Stockwell with Well Dressed Walrus. We are a local website design and development company here in Spokane. What we do is build beautiful, usable websites for local businesses. A website needs to be beautiful, it needs to be usable for your users, your customers, and yourself. Contact us anytime. We'd love to talk with you about your online marketing.
The economy is getting stronger. Banks are lending again, and interest rates are at historic lows. Now is a great time to buy your dream home. The caring and knowledgeable professionals at Homes for You have been helping people just like you for over 20 years. They take the time to listen to what you want and will help you find just the right home in Washington or Idaho. Real estate is what we do at Homes for You, 928-5782, or visit online at homes4uspokane.com.